Hey guys, Stephen here from Vanguard Tactics, and in this video I'm going to be answering some of the most commonly asked questions that we get in regards to people joining our academy. So if you're sat on the fence and you're thinking, is it for me? Not quite sure, and maybe you've got some burning questions, then hopefully in this video we'll answer majority of those. And if you have any others, please feel free to email us, because we want to make sure that if you do sign up for the academy, it is completely fit for you. And also, if you are unhappy, remember that we have a fantastic money-back guarantee. So we want there to be no risk and ensure that everybody leaves the academy feeling like they've had a fantastic journey with us and a great sense of value. So Nicole, what is the first question?
So why should I or anyone else choose to learn with Vanguard Tactics?
So Vanguard Tactics has an absolute wealth of experience in, most importantly, teaching itself. So myself, I've got a background of teaching alongside the head of education here at Vanguard Tactics, which is Michael. And then all of our coaches that we have some degree of either coaching or teaching background. Now, all of us are experienced when it comes to playing 40K and got a numerous amounts of records and achievements within the game. But really what makes the most important thing is the structure in which we've laid out the academy. So the first lesson will start off with recapping some of the most fundamental elements of that topic. And then what we start to do then is dive a little bit deeper and analyze and give you more information as we go through those modules. So each lesson will build upon the next, enhancing your learning and giving you more ability to implement that knowledge at the tabletop. So that's really what sets us apart from many other types of services that are out there, whether it's different battle reports you can watch, coaching services. Ours is an online course which you can study at your own leisure, and it's really building upon all of that education that you've already learned and allowing you to put that into practice.
Okay, so the next question is, what do you learn on the Vanguard Tactics Academy?
Okay, so the Vanguard Tactics Academy, what we're going to be taking you through is all of the fundamentals of the game. So we're going to start off in week 1 looking at some of the most basic concepts of army list construction. Once we've done that, we're going to help you understand how to actually critically analyze your codex before we move on to things like analyzing a mission, and then also going into a plan of actually how you're going to focus on achieving your secondary objectives. And that's something in which we constantly update, regardless of whether Games Workshop bring out new mission packs. We're always going to keep the content up to scratch within the 9th edition course. Now, over the course, we are going to also then look at every single phase of the game, and the key principle behind this is teaching you everything you need to know so that what you're able to then do is implement that on the table. So we're not just going to give you a fantastic army list to try out, we're actually going to help and improve your fundamental knowledge of the game so you're able to use some of the core rules to your advantage and understand everything about all of the different interactions. And then we finish off with more advanced topics such as tournament preparation, how to set achievable goals when you actually go to a tournament, and understanding all the different grey areas of the game so you just feel a lot more confident at the table.
What would you say to someone who's worried about not having enough time to justify the purchase of the academy?
So the academy lessons are on average 12 minutes long. Each module contains around 8 lessons. And what we try to do is give you a module every single week. So over the course of the 17 weeks, we're going to deliver you bite-sized chunks of information. Now, what that allows you to do is either take it at the pace that we suggest, which we've had proven track records to encourage all of our students to get to the finish line within that 17 weeks, or what you can do is take it a little bit slower. You are going to get lifetime access to the course, so if you want to do it over 24 weeks or 36 or in over a year, that is perfectly fine. And you can take the exam and the quiz at the very end whenever you want. And obviously all of this is at your fingertips whenever you need it. So if you want to listen to this on your commute to work, on the tube, that's absolutely fine. You want to put us on the app while you're running, again, that's completely fine as well. So however you want to learn is completely up to you, and everything is at a touch of a button.
And what if I don't live in the UK? How will the academy benefit me then?
So if you don't live in the UK, that is not a problem. So all of the academy content, like with any kind of like online university course, is all pre-recorded. Okay, so that means that every single week that new module will drop for you, and it's up to you as to when you want to study that. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, providing that you've got Wi-Fi and you can either access your mobile phone, tablet, or laptop or computer, you'll be able to digest our content whenever you want. Now, if you go for the community package, which is our silver package plus, then you're going to access some live lessons. Now, this is an additional option in upgrade, and those live lessons are held by a coach, but what we allow you to do is ask questions beforehand. We sometimes even set you homework tasks that you need to complete, which you hand in before the live lesson. Then every single live lesson is recorded and then put into our vault and library. So let's say, unfortunately, maybe you're at work, you're busy, you can't make that live session. You can get your homework in before, you can get your personal feedback during the live, and then you can re-watch that feedback in the vault. So we're going to make sure no matter where you are in the world, you've always got something to ensure that you can still progress with your learning. And then we've also got coaches all around the globe covering different live content at different time zones. So hopefully there will be some live content that you can digest live. And then obviously we've got the fantastic Discord community, which is pretty much active 24/7, 7 days a week.
And what about someone who's a complete beginner to the game of Warhammer? Could they join the Vanguard Tactics Academy?
So the Vanguard Tactics Academy is not quite fit for somebody that's a complete beginner. We would hope that by the time you get to the academy, you've played a few games. You've maybe read through your codex, you've got a brief understanding of the phases of the game, or maybe you've even watched a few battle reports or attempted a couple of games yourself. That's really the entry point for the academy. Now, if you're not quite there yet, then we do have our basic training course. And we recommend that if you're unsure whether the academy is going to be right for you, definitely take the basic training course first, as that's going to give you a fantastic on-ramp system so that you're going to leave that course over the 7 days feeling very prepared to then start your journey on the academy.
And what about someone who doesn't want to play 40k competitively, but still wants to improve their gameplay within their local gaming store or with their friends?
So on the Vanguard Tactics Academy, even if you're not playing the game competitively and maybe you've got no interest in going to tournaments and you just want to play amongst your friends or play at your local gaming store, then actually the academy is still going to be a perfect fit for you. And the reason why it is because we're going to give you a fantastic level and base knowledge of the game of 40k. So you know that you're not going to accidentally cheat your opponent. You're not going to, have any gotcha moments, which are all elements of like conflict at the table, which you always want to avoid whether you're going to your local gaming store or you're playing amongst your friends. Because we always try to support the trifactor within the game. We want to help you all become a fantastic general, whether you want to play Tempest of War, you want to play Crusade, or you want to play match play missions. It really doesn't matter to us, because what we want to help you do is understand that core rule set, be a fantastic sports person, and also improve your hobby as we go through. And we're going to surround you by a fantastic community as well to support you through your journey. So sometimes you can feel slightly isolated, and we want to make sure no matter where you are, you've got some fantastic people around you to really help improve your game or just love of the hobby as well, which is also just so impactful.
What about someone who doesn't play Warhammer that much? How can the academy benefit them?
So the academy is built around one simple principle, and that is, I always wanted it to be the course that I wanted to study. I've always been somebody that's very busy, hectic, social or hobby life. So therefore, I've always found like just playing games and trying to learn just through playing or watching battle reports quite frustrating. So I wanted a really succinct, efficient way of learning, and there was nothing like it at the time, which is why I've designed the Vanguard Tactics Academy to be the exact fit for you. So if you are somebody that is time poor, maybe you've got a busy family or work schedule, and you just want to make sure that you are improving as a player, you understand where you are in your gameplay at the moment, and most importantly then, we teach you how to improve in the most efficient and effective way possible. So when you do get that luxury to play, you can really enjoy the game because you'll know the rules inside out. And also that's going to allow you to actually play the game much faster. You won't need to keep checking the rule books. You won't need to keep checking your codex. It's going to give you a lot of confidence and composure when you're at the table. So when you can play quickly, efficiently, and hopefully get a couple of games in on a Saturday morning rather than struggling just to get one game in an entire day.
What about someone who is already competing in tournaments? How will the academy benefit them?
So if you're already going to tournaments and you might be thinking, well, I don't need the academy, I'm already going there, that's completely fine. And if you feel like that, in which you're completely competent at the table and you understand everything about the game. You're able to constantly keep up with, the different changes that are happening. That is completely fine, and we wish you the absolute best of luck with that. However, if you feel like there's maybe a few gaps in your knowledge, or maybe you'd still like to just be around a more like-minded community that really has sportsmanship at its absolute core, and you want to be surrounded by a fantastic team no matter where you are in the world, then the Vanguard Tactics team is very, very inclusive, and we really want to make sure that we've got fantastic players. So we've got some really knowledgeable coaches that you're going to have some great discussions with, and you can become more of a thought leader in the community amongst learning and recapping some of the more fundamental principles in the academy, and hopefully our more advanced lessons will really push your knowledge to that next level. So maybe you're slightly inconsistent with your tournament results. Well, how can we help you become more consistent? So that's scoring more points in every game, which will hopefully in the future lead to more enjoyable matches and maybe even a few more wins here or there.
Okay, let's break the cost of the academy down a little bit, because at first glance, this might look a bit expensive to some people. So why is the academy that expensive? What value does the academy hold?
Okay, so this is a really tough one, and this is something in which is always a really difficult subject. So the value is based on the amount of quality lessons that we've got in our academy. Not only that, but the layered structure that we have with our education, and then also all of the community support if you go for one of the higher tier packages. Now we've got the basic package, which is just the online course. That's an independent study course. You can study that in your own time, and you still get lifetime access to that course. There's over 132 videos on the complete academy. There's over 17 modules over the 17 weeks, and then we've got an exam week and also an introductory module on top of that as well. So there's a huge amount of content in there. I think over 1,500 minutes worth of content to digest. And the amount of resources that we give you, homework, tasks, everything is there to help you implement all of the learning that you have. So the time it's taken us to construct, deliver, produce all those videos is exactly why it is the value that it is. But not only that, we've got, like we said, a fantastic community, a wealth of experience amongst coaches who is supporting those live lessons on those higher tier packages such as silver. And then if you go for gold, you get things like the dice, the shirts, some of our special VT merchandise, and a few extra little bonus mentoring calls as well in a more group, close-knit format. And then if you go for our platinum package, then you get an actual one-to-one phone call with one of our expert coaches every single week throughout the academy. Now, the great thing about all of this is that we've got a payment plan for you. So you can either pay in one go if that's how you would like to do it, or you can pay in 4. So we can spread the cost over 4 manageable monthly payments. Now, like I said in the first one, if you sign up for the academy and you really don't think the quality's there, you really don't think it's for you, then we've got that money back guarantee. Now, I'm more than happy to offer it because we've never had somebody ask for it. And the reason why that is because we're so proud of what we've got, and we're really able to show you the value when you get inside the academy.
I mean, this all sounds great, but isn't 40k just based off of luck? I mean, aren't the dice rolls, don't they hold all the power of whether a game's going to go good or bad?
Yes, 40k is based around dice. And one thing that these little things have taught me is that the worse my dice rolls are, the better the general I've become. Because if you've watched any of my live stream games or you know my kind of stigma, I'm not the best roller in the world. However, what I've been able to do is teach myself principles where I can start to eradicate dice rolls from the game. So instead of making a charge roll, I can ensure that I guarantee it regardless of the dice. And that's exactly what we tried to teach you on the academy, is structuring your movement phase, making sure that you're deploying your units in the right place. So you've got a great understanding of not only where your units are now, but you also know where they'll be in turn 5. So you can make sure that you're making the right decisions at the right time, so you can eradicate the probability of poor rolls going badly, and we can just help you make the correct decision at the table. So yes, dice rolls are important. They lead to some dramatic and funny moments, but they are not the reasons why you win or lose games. It's why the best players consistently win. The top players and the top teams are always at the top, And it's not because of the dice, and they're not some sort of fantastic rolling gods. It is because they've been able to master the fundamentals of the game, and more importantly, their factioning codex.
Cool. Let's dive into more of the technical side of how the Academy works. Talk me through the modules, the lessons, the layout of the Academy.
Okay, so when you sign up for the Academy, the first thing that you're going to get is our welcome email. So when you get that welcome email, it's going to tell you whether you've got the community access, and you'll get all the links to the Discord that you need as soon as the course starts. So once we've given you that enrollment date, everything will begin on that date. Once you've got that, it will then give you your login details to our site. You can log in through our website, or you can then download our app as well, so you can get all of the Academy on your mobile phone or tablet. Now, you get an introductory module. We introduce you to how the Academy is going to be works, all of the structure, and then also what you can expect from us, and you can meet the coaching staff as well. So once we've done that, we then teach you every single week a new module. So module 1 is army list writing. Module 2 starts to look at some of the missions, developing a game plan, looking at secondary objective, deployment, movement, psychic, shooting, charging, absolutely every single interaction in the game we go over. So we don't just teach you the rules, we don't regurgitate what's already in the rule book, we show you the nuances, we show you the tricks in the combos, and actually how to master things like using coherency correctly with things like heroic intervention. We teach you how to adapt around the psychic phase so you can manipulate it in your favor, so you understand the order in which you need to cast psychic powers. And then we go into some really advanced combat tactics. So you may have seen me play some of these on stream, or some of the things that I do at tournaments, how to actually allocate charges correctly, the number of charges, the interactions between fight first and fight last. We show you how many charges you to make, when you should make them, where you should place your models, how to screen. Absolutely every single core fundamental is covered in our lessons. So we've got those 17 modules over 17 weeks, and on average you've got 8 lessons per module, starting with the basics right the way to that advanced top-end level content.
Okay, let's get a little bit harsher with our questions, okay? You know, Warhammer 40k is an expensive hobby. So why would I choose to invest my money in the Vanguard Tactics Academy when I could just buy more models or buy more terrain or something else for the hobby?
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, we all love buying new models. There's something really just exhilarating about ordering, or whether you're going in your local store and picking up some fantastic miniatures. And we still encourage you to do that, because that's exactly what gets us excited about the hobby. But the difference between the two is that what the Academy is going to do is actually give you the fundamental knowledge that you need to run your army. So all of that collection that you currently have, we're going to help you throughout the Academy understand how all of those units work. So how do you get the most out of some of those models that might be the latest, or might not be the latest meta or most efficient pick out there? We're going to really teach you how to understand your codex. We're going to teach you how to set appropriate goals for your army as well. So you don't get to a situation where you feel really frustrated, really let down by maybe your army's performance, because perhaps you haven't set realistic expectations and goals. And perhaps what you're not really doing is understanding where you're at in the game, and most importantly, what you need to work on as a player to improve your performance. And like with all things in all games, the most rewarding thing is feeling like we're improving, feeling like we're leveling up. And that's exactly what the Academy is going to give you. I purchased a camera, and the next thing I purchased was a filmmaker's course. Everything that I've tried to do myself is build around self-improvement and education. And I really believe that is such a core concept to being a true master at anything, and really getting the most value out of anything that you purchase or you want to do. So if you want to become a great general at the table, then we definitely recommend the Academy course. If you want to become a great hobby collector and a miniature collector, then just absolutely buy more models. So there's a real distinct difference between the two, but there's no reason why they can't work together for somebody that does want to improve, that wants to enjoy the game, but most importantly wants to be surrounded by an incredible community to keep that passion going. And because we've got such a fantastic mindset and positive attitude towards the game, no matter how, sometimes toxic the community get, or the people around you might be negative about a certain thing, we're going to help you stay clear of that, stay objective, stay rational, and keep composed throughout the entire time, so you can really keep the hobby alive no matter what phase you're in.
Let's talk a little bit more about the community, Because there are free communities out there. I could join a Facebook page for free. So why should I join the Vanguard Tactics Academy community?
Okay, so if you go for that silver tier package, then you unlock our community. Now the difference between the two of just joining a Facebook group, maybe it's for, I don't know, like you could be in your faction specific one, whatever it might be. And I'm in many of those groups. And what I found in the past is when you maybe ask a question, hey, what's people's thoughts on this list? You are going to get a whole wealth of feedback. That list is terrible. I wouldn't do that. You should do this. But what there isn't is any context behind that. So in our community, everybody's taught in the same way. So everybody will either refer to you to, hey, did you check out Steve's lesson on X or Y about, creating an army list? And you might go, oh, actually, I skipped that lesson. I probably should watch it. Or perhaps somebody will remind you of, a relevant piece of information, because what we're going to be doing on the Academy is making sure that everybody progresses at the same level. So you're going to have really good discussions around fellow students around what is potentially more optimal for certain situations, like scoring secondaries or playing the mission, rather than just list tailoring because you're playing against knights at the weekend. So again, we've got a really wholesome attitude towards the game, and you're going to be surrounded by people that also share that same approach. And that's something that we're really hot on, is ensuring that everybody is steering in the same way. Now, moreover, then obviously you get all of our live lessons as well. And there's roughly 5 live lessons a week. So I do a quiz to coach. So if you have any rules questions, we get questions about, maybe running your own tournaments, or whether it's like some of the most advanced rule interactions, or maybe my hot takes on a recent codex review. Then again, that's a great time for us to dive in and get those questions answered from one of the experts that we have here. Or maybe you'll join in with one of Michael's lessons where he helps you pick the right secondaries. We give you a really cool mission, we give you an army that you've got to play against, and we ask you to pick secondaries against it whilst presenting your list. And Michael's going to give you bespoke feedback on that. So you're going to leave that lesson thinking much more prepared about picking secondaries when you maybe go to your next game. We've got fantastic lessons on tournament preparation, and we've also got a training night as well. So you'll be surrounded by fantastic students that are going to want to play on Tabletop Simulator with you. You can enjoy the hobby with each other. And we also run our own in-house tournaments. But more so when you go to events, hopefully you'll see someone rocking a VT shirt. It's a conversation starter, and it's somebody that you can share that experience with, and it might be somebody you've never met before. But we are a team. And it's something that we really want to keep pushing as we move forward, is a more wholesome and collective team.
So the game of 40k is ever changing. How does the Academy keep up with these changes? Am I going to buy the Academy and then all these changes are going to come and the Academy will be worthless, or?
Yeah, so obviously everything is constantly in cycle and flux when it comes to what Games Workshop release. Obviously, we've got new codexes, we have balance updates, we have points changes, and most recently, we've had a complete change on the mission pack. We've also had the introduction of Tempest of War. So what we've done on the Academy is ensure that all of our modules are structured in such a way that allows us to replace those pieces of content really seamlessly. So for example, one of the modules where we talk about secondary missions, now all of the secondaries have changed. We can now go in and change every single lesson, every single recommendation, all of our top tips, combination stacks around all of those secondaries, strip them out, replace them with fresh content. So whilst we're playing this game, we're going to keep you up to date with all of the relevant information. So force organizations change, that's not a problem. We'll change the lesson on force organization. It's going to be something in which that we constantly evolve over 9th edition, whether it's a balance update or, as we mentioned earlier, something much more structured based on those missions. And then we've also now got lessons on Tempest of War as well. So that might be an alternative way that you want to play competitively, or maybe even with your friends. And again, we're going to support that level of content, as we think that's a fantastic way to enjoy the hobby. Now, moreover than that, obviously, if you're on our community, you also get access to our Vault. And on our Vault members, with this community access, you're going to be able to ask all of our coaches, and they're keeping up to date with every single codex release. Now, that's a great chance to just ask general questions, watch our video content around each of those releases, but more importantly, we teach you the skills required to ask the right questions. So you don't need to read every codex. You don't need to make sure you're up to speed with every single balance update, providing that you know your army and you've done your homework with the army that you're going to run at the table so you can ensure you play your rules correctly. We're going to give you all the framework and structure that you need to complete that. But then most importantly, we're going to help you with the right questions so you can play anybody, anytime, anywhere, against any faction, and just really maximize your enjoyment for the hobby. So I really hope that has helped answer all of your questions, and Nicole's done a great job at putting me literally in the hot seat today. So hopefully you feel like now a little bit more comfortable with giving the Academy a try. If you have any more questions, please feel free to email us. All the details will be in the description below, and we really look forward to welcoming you on our Academy. So we'll see you very soon.